maybe I'm teasing it a little too much with saying that you've got like a iSavage master tractorus formula for guaranteed success, asterisk, comma, this is not investing advice, but that you have some sort of system or framework that you're really thinking about all of the races that everyone else is talking about, whether that's Oz or JD Vance or Mandela Barnes or whatever it may be. So is that true? Did I make that up?
I mean, a lot of what I've been thinking about is I think the hottest thing right now is really, you know, what's really going to happen with control of the House. I think that last time I was on, you know, the conversation was really around, man, are they writing the obituary for the Democrats too soon? That was probably January or February, and that was back when I think that it was already like odds of Republicans taking the House by like 80%, maybe even a little bit more at that point.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, liberal guy, I don't ever want to sit there and count my team out, but I also don't want to lose money. But we were saying at the time, like, man, anything, it's a long year. It's a long year. And I think that this has been proven to be true. So many things have happened, you know, since then that's why odds have, you know, kind of doubled. They're still below half, but they've doubled from where they were for the Democrats to take the House.
Right.
So now that I got this big bet that I'm sitting on, I really want to think that if I want to, you know, take my money and run and hold it. And as I'm looking at statewide races and seeing, you know, where the pickups might be, kind of my formula is right now, where are the scoops going to come from for either Democrats to pick up big amount of these seats that they're, you know, either swing seats or if you look at, you know, the political report, you know, what are likely Democrat, likely Republican. What I'm really looking at is what does the top of the ticket to this state look like? Because that's, I think, what's going to bring people out. And if you look at a state like California, no MAGA candidate at the top of the ticket, a lot of demoralized Republicans. And I think that if you look at what might be considered lean Republican House seats in California, toss-up seats in California, I think a lot of those you could probably shift over to the Democrat column just based on what's happened, you know, since the middle of the summer where Democrats have turned out. If you don't have an energized MAGA base, you're not going to pick up as many of those seats, right?
Okay, can I stop you?
Yes.
All right, I want to slow you down a little bit. Okay,
yeah,
so what you're
shout out
saying,
of the cannon, King. Come shout out. Let's go.
Well, we can't all run as fast as you, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are sitting on a very profitable bet right now that we talked about 6 months or 9 months ago or something, which was at some point the Republicans will fuck up. At some point the Democrats will do something right by the bottom of one. So now all that bet on specifically the Democrats maintaining power in the House is worth a lot of money. So you have to decide either one, to sell, or two, where the heck are these gains going to come? So you are looking for a rationale to hold on to the bet that Democrats will win the House this next year. And that rationale is look for places where there's no good Republican at the top of the ticket or something like that.
That's where I'm kind of, you know, as I'm digging into, okay, what seats can they hold? What seats can they possibly flip? Where might they lose some seats? You know, really digging into it. So, I mean, I think people can talk about the Cook political report or any of the other, you know, toss up and that kind of thing. But they do have them at least kind of categorized and segmented. And as I said, as I go through, kind of like I said about California, I'll look at Florida on the opposite. If there's something that's lean Republican, if there's something that's toss up in a House seat in Florida, I'm putting that in the Republican column right now. Republicans in Florida, I think, are going to come out. They love DeSantis. They're energized. I think that they're a rare breed. And so as you go through, then you start thinking of everything else where there's heavy pickups. You know, where.
Well, can I ask you the obvious question?
Yeah.
For D-Gens, who's at the top of the ticket in Pennsylvania, Oz or that one crazy guy, Mastriano?
So that's what's kind of interesting is that, you know, you've got some MAGA guys at the top of the ticket in Pennsylvania. Mastriano is, you know, super MAGA, but I also feel like there might be a sense of defeatism, you know, as it comes down to it too. I don't think that MAGAs are coming out to vote for Oz. They might come out to vote for Mastriano, but the people that are coming out to vote for one or the other, what are they going to do in a House race, right? If I'm a Romney type Republican and I'm showing up to vote in Pennsylvania because Oz is, you know, kind of okay to me, am I going to split my ticket and go, yeah, but I don't want to vote for this crazy person who's kind of a kook who's, you know, you know, in my local race. So That's, I mean, that, but again, top of the ticket is kind of how I'm formulating everything right now and again, like my state in Illinois, if there's a toss up seat in Illinois right now, if there's something that's even lean Republican in Illinois right now, I lean that more towards the blue column because
boy, it's so depressing as a middle America. I haven't lived in middle America for a while, I guess, but as a middle America Republican, the North Shore of Illinois just being barren of any seats colored red is just awful. It's just brutal. It's just like history is over when that is true.
and it's a lot of seats, but I mean, same thing, you know what? That's probably how I look at Florida and parts of Texas, where it's just ripe for who you think would vote in your column. But the local party has just fucked up so bad that the brand is just destroyed there. And that's, I mean, again, we've seen that in formerly blue states everywhere. Right. So that's, I
love that it's always changing though, but you know, maybe that's subject for another conversation. We're talking a lot. Pratik, do you what?
No, but okay. So when you say top of the ticket, I mean, I suppose I find it interesting. You're looking at the state level. I mean, what are you assuming about the ultimate top of the ticket of American politics, which is Joe Biden?
Well, so I think that what's happened towards since the summer. I think that it's a very good question. Obviously, I don't think that he's necessarily the top of the ticket anymore. I don't think that it's hype to say that the abortion ruling really has energized people who weren't otherwise going to vote, and people who really don't care much about Joe Biden or are disappointed in him. We've really seen the numbers run up on the Democratic side. I don't think that's hype. I don't think that's a story. I mean, that's real numbers of places that Republicans thought they were going to win. That and it's not Joe Biden that's getting people out. It's that they're seeing the uptick in women voters. They're seeing the losses where they thought there was going to be wins. So I think that's kind of the top of the ticket right now. In the minds of some people who wouldn't have otherwise turned out.
Okay, so if I'm understanding the argument correctly, I think what you're saying is Biden's approval rating, you're thinking will be roughly similar in November to what it is today. Like you're not anticipating anything dramatic either way.
I mean, we've seen it gone up a little bit. I think he's probably hit a ceiling. I think that there's probably some people who are like, okay, I'm not as mad at him as I was, 6 months ago. I don't think that he's going to get over 50% again. But I do think that there's the frustration has pulled back. Because I mean, hey, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the summer, you would have called me up as somebody who voted for Biden. Do you approve of Biden right now? I'd say no, because I just didn't see the fight. I didn't see, the articulation of the counter argument that was being put out there. So I was real frustrated. I still think I am. I still think if you called me up, I still probably wouldn't say to a pollster I approve of Biden right now for other reasons as well. But there's probably other people who weren't as staunch as I was that are coming back and saying, okay, yeah, I voted for him. I didn't approve of him for a while, but now I'm, coming back into the camp. If you ask me the question directly.
Yeah. So all right. So the argument is, first and foremost, Biden's approval rating is going to kind of muddle where it is. But I think the bigger point you're making is that what Biden has succeeded in doing over the last couple of months is removing a lot of the energy, both positive and negative, away from him, and just kind of stabilize the presidency in a way that has given Democrats, the Senate level, congressional level, enough space to have their own brand and succeed or fail on their own merits without too much.
He's taking the crowd out of the game, basically, is that comparison.
Yeah. I think both of those things. And I think the third part of that is that what nobody on the right wanted to have happen is Trump being part of the conversation again. He makes a very excellent contrast. And I think that there's 2 months left to even do this, of that, man, this guy's crazy. And if I vote for, again, this person at the, not just at my congressional level, my state, my state Senate and my state congressional level, these are the people who support this craziness that I thought was kind of going to go away after he wasn't in the presidency anymore. And he's creeping back in, like reminding people, these people are my acolytes. You're going to give power to these crazy people that they make fun of on late night TV, and that, say these audacious things that you have to defend, as a Republican or whatever it might be. So him coming back into the picture, again, establishment Republicans didn't want that for a reason. And it's very easy as he's endorsed these people. People see Vance, they see Trump. People see Oz, they see Trump. People see Masters, they see Trump. There's, again, people who would probably otherwise vote for a generic Republican who are just like, man, fuck this guy. And that's helping too.